Okay, so I'm gonna create a multi-view sketch of this part right here. Okay, so this is gonna be my front view. So I'm gonna start by drawing that guy out. Now I'm gonna remember that my front view is gonna go in the lower left. Then I need to save room for my side view and my top view up here. So when creating that front view, I wanna make sure I leave space for everything else. So I'm gonna think um, that front view, let's go about, we'll say about that big. Something like that. I'm kind of outline that box. And some of this will be erased as we go through on this. So I want to create all of those features. So I'm going to start by putting this line going across right there, which would be, I don't know, something like right there. Okay. I'm going to then curve off the top here, which will be something like this. Okay. Put that hole in there. That'll be something like this. Okay, and then I've got these two edges here and here that you'll go ahead and see, and those will be like that. So again, that's what I'm going to see looking head on at that view right there. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to erase um, these kind of construction lines that I've got there. Okay, so I've got that. Now we're going to go ahead and do the top and the side view here. I think I'll start with the side view, okay? And again, I want to drag this guy over, right? So I'm going to have my side view over like that, and I'll just go ahead and kind of create the box that it'll go into, and then I can always erase this stuff later, right? But again, okay, so it's lined up just perfectly like that, right? Now, this is this side here. Remember, if you think about that box here, right? I've got this is going to fold out like this, right? So I'm looking at this side view, which is the same as this view. And again, you're just folding that side view out, and I'm looking at it just like that. So again, I'm looking, it would be this way at this side right here. So it's going to be kind of this reversed L looking thing. And again, I need to line those guys up like that. So that side view will be something like that as I look down that side like so. Okay. So with that, I think I'll go ahead and um, erase some of those construction lines, those outlines, and everything like that. Okay. Now the thing is there's this outcropping in here, right? Okay, and that's going to create an edge that I can't really see right in here, right? Which will essentially be this edge right here. Because if I look this way, this surface is in the way, so that edge is not there. So that's a hidden line. So that's going to be a dashed line, which I just represent with the dashed line. That's a hidden line that looks like that. Similarly, this hole, if I look at it from the side, is just going to look like a rectangle. Again, I can't see those edges going through there, but the edges will be here. And again, I can line that up like so with some construction lines that I'll delete, but I'll have these hidden lines going right through here. And again, that's going to represent the edges of that hole as I look at it that way. Again, it's blocked by this surface right here. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, delete or erase those construction lines. Okay. So those are not in there. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do the top view, which from the top view, you'll now be looking down on this. Again, if you think about, you've got your box like this, I'm going to fold this edge up and I'll be looking straight down at the top there. Okay. So again, that's going to be something like this. Okay. Kind of directly above there. Okay. Now I have this edge that I see coming right here. So that'll go right across like this. Okay. And then again, I've got this outcropping, this cutout right here that I've got to get rid of. Again, that's this uh, hidden line. That's these lines right in here. Okay. And again, that's got to line up. That'll look something like this. Okay. So this line should no longer be there. Right. That's a construction line that I can erase. And then just the other thing is that hole again, I'm going to have two lines, two hidden lines. That'll be something like this. Okay, like that. So I've got all my visible lines, I've got all my hidden lines. I've laid out my um, uh, multi-view drawing here. I just want to make sure I include my center lines here. So for the head-on center line of this circle here, I just put the like a crosshatch, okay, and then I extend my lines out to the edge of the curved surfaces, just beyond the edge of the curved surfaces, like so. And then this one will just go down to that circle like that, okay, and that represents where the center of that circle is. Now, from the side view, we want to do what's called a center line bisector. Okay, still be long, short, long, just beyond the views like that. But that shows you again where the center of the circle is, lines up with this axis right here. Same thing coming up here. We go long, short, long, just beyond the edges like so. That shows us where the center line is. So now I have my multi-view drawing complete. What I need to do now is go ahead and dimension it, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the curved surfaces and talk about those a little bit. So I've got this curved surface, it's a semicircle, and I've got this curved surface here, it's a circle. So this guy will be done as a diameter, this guy will be a radius. So to do the diameter, I just do an arrow like that, again going out beyond the extents of that. And then I will call this diameter, uh, and we'll call it, we'll say that's 1 inch. Okay, I don't really know what these are, but that's going to be 1 inch. Okay, um, and then this guy is a radius because it's a semicircle. Okay, and we'll say that radius is 1.5 inches. I don't know what it is. Radius 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to put those guys in there first. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, again, those surfaces are oftentimes more important to get in there, and careful not to over dimension things. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is anytime I have a hole or a curved surface, the center of it is usually what's most important. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the dimension of the center of this guy, which will be right here. So I extend that um, center line out, okay? I put another extension line down this, okay? And I'm going to call this we'll call this one 2 inches, okay? Like so. Now this is where you want to be careful because what people might like to do is do a dimension like this. Okay, now that dimension, that would be an over dimension because we know that that dimension is 3.5 because the radius is 1.5 and the center of that circle is 2, right? So from here to here is 2, here to here is 1.5. Putting this in, I know that dimension. Now, believe me, this is the better way to do it because you'll want to know, you don't want to be calculating radii generally, okay? And you also really want to know where the center of circles are, and you don't want to be calculating that. So it's better to dimension the center and a radius than the whole thing and a radius, or the whole thing and a center, because then you'll have to do math, okay? This will come out in the wash knowing that I've got a 1.5 inch radius centered at that point right there. Okay, so that is an over dimension. I don't want to include that. Okay, so the other thing I wouldn't want to do is I wouldn't want to do a dimension like this, right? Okay, because I know that dimension is 3, right? Because it's the diameter of this whole thing. A lot of people will think, oh, I need to put that in there. Well, no, I don't, because of the fact that I know that because I know this radius. That's an over dimension. I don't want to include that. So from what I can see, that's probably all we're going to put on the front view. Okay, this side view then, okay, we've got a few things we want to put. I definitely want the height of this guy here, right? And it's better to put it on this surface than on that surface. So we'll do this. We'll say it's 1 inch, okay? And we'll put it just like that. The other dimension I want is this one. Now I could either put this here or up here. Um, I'm not sure if there's an advantage. I will do it here. We'll call this one 2. But I definitely don't want to put it both places, right? Because again, this 2 is the same as this 2, okay, on that top view. So you only want to put it on one view, whichever one you think is most descriptive. And then I'll go ahead and I've got this one here. And again, I have not dimensioned this one yet. So we'll put it right there, which is 1 inch. Okay. Now again, I don't want to dimension to that. I don't want to dimension any of these hidden lines. I think that's about all I'd have on that side view there. Okay. The main thing I'm going to get from the top view is what's going on here. Okay. So again, I know the whole thing across is 3 inches. Okay. So I don't know what this is. We'll call this 1.5 inches, and then each one of these 0.75 inches. Again, trying to get that in there. Now, again, I don't want to dimension this guy. Why? Well, because I know that one's 0.75 inches because this is a radius of 1.5. The whole width is 3. Okay, so again, that dimension, I know it's implied. Okay, the one thing I do want is I need the depth of this guy, which I have not done yet. So I'll do this, and we'll call this, I don't know, 1/2 inch, like so. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put that right there. Now at this point, I do believe I am fully dimensioned. I do believe that I have everything that I need. Hopefully I'm not missing anything so I don't have to come in and redo this video, but I believe that's all we need. So again, you want all 3 views, front, side, top, lined up perfectly, and then you want to go through and dimension each feature once and only once. Careful not to over dimension either between views or implied things such as the radius and the diameter, things of that nature. So that is how you sketch a multi-view drawing.